order is a reform of the Benedictines. So it began in 1098, the Cistercian order. And one thing that the founders wanted to do was to get back to the original spirit of the rule, which had a balance between work and liturgical prayer. That had become deteriorated over the course of the centuries. It became more and more time spent in church and less time spent in work, and they're both important to us. So the spirit of the founders was about meeting God in the work too, and having something to do with the labor of your hands. They're truly monks when they live by the labor of their hands, as did the apostles in the early church. So it's very important to us to have a work that can support us as much as possible. Candy happened to be something that, it's a good community work for one thing, because there's work for people who are very young, and there's work for people who are very old, and everything in between. It's also a fairly silent work. There's not a lot of communication that's needed once you know what you're doing. So we can come here and allow each other to remain recollected and to remain with God, and yet be together and be doing this together. So it's not so much that I have a vocation to make chocolate. It's more that part of my vocation is the element of this work. Some people, when they walk in the door, they say, "I walked in the door and I knew I was home." I never had that experience. And I feel like that's okay too, because sometimes you fall in love at first sight and it's horrible and it's not right for you at all. And then there are other relationships that grow slowly until you figure out, hey, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. That's sort of how I felt about this place, that it just became a slow realization that this was right, that this was a fit.